So now at this time, before we bring in our caster for the next match, we are actually going to take a quick look at the brackets to see how things have developed across today. So taking a look, we've got John Wood Community College moving on after taking on Wake Tech earlier. Hudson Valley got defeated by – oh, wait, let me make sure I got that right. Yeah, so it is John Wood versus Hudson Valley it looks like we might be having, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah,
but
I'm actually watching our game right now.
Oh, there you go. So we got Hawkeye versus Grays Harbor. Hawkeye gets the sweep after Grays Harbor looked very impressive. Hawkeye maybe one to look out for as we go forward. And it looks like Lincoln Land takes the sweep 4-0, so they'll be facing off against Nassau. So it seems like we have our next caster. We are going to have Abby coming on in. So let's go ahead. We've got Hoodie already here with us. Abby, how are you doing today? Oh, we don't have audio there.
Sorry, that's my fault. I'm doing great. How about you?
We're doing well. We've had some really awesome games so far. So we have our semifinals coming on up. And I can't remember. I think I was just told who the semifinals is, but I don't quite remember. I'm trying to find it real quick. All right, so we're waiting on the result from either John Wood Community College or Hudson Valley. Whoever wins that is going to be facing Hawkeye, who has currently got 2 straight sweeps heading into the semifinals. So it's going to be interesting to see. We got Hoodie. I mean, he is a member with John Wood Community College, so he's obviously rooting for his home squad. But we'll see. I mean, whoever's coming in is going to be battle tested.
So we had the pleasure of taking second in the season as well as the pipeline tournament from the fall that had occurred. We've got a pretty good roster, but I have to say Hawkeye is a very, very strong school with their program in general, not just Rocket League, but all of their games. Very, very strong. Has an excellent coach/director there at that program. So I'm very excited to be able to match up against them if we are able to take down Hudson Valley here. Right now, I believe we are in game 4 of the match, so it could be a little bit of time before that result still comes in. I believe the series is tied at 2-2 right now.
Gotcha. Well, while we have a moment, let's go on and hear a word from one of our sponsors. So the NJCAAE is proud to be a partner with Generation Esports. Schools have been adopting esports as an official sport or even as an extracurricular and are funding increased attendance and GPA scores. With 70% of Americans reporting that they play video games, it's a no-brainer that esports can be a powerful tool in engaging your audience remotely or in person. Esports clubs are seeing rapid growth and the impact on community socialization, competition, and leadership that students need. The Generation Esports is a STEM.org accredited organization. To find out more about Generation Esports, head to generationesports.com. Yeah, so as Hoodie was telling us, we do have a little bit of time, but while we do wait, we can check out the Hawkeye roster. So Abby, would you mind running us down the Hawkeye roster?
Yeah, so usually the Hawkeyes is drafted with 2 players, and the first one on the left is Tom Luck. His tag is Colin. He's a sophomore in Iowa, and it looks like Colin is another Cole Luck, sorry, and his tag is Cole. He's also a sophomore in Iowa. And then the third one on the team is Ethan Pittsburgh, and his tag is HTC, and he's also a sophomore, but in Water, Iowa.
All right, well, thank you very much. You might need to adjust your microphone a little bit. It was just a little tough to hear you, so just that little heads up. So we've got a little bit of time. So far, we've seen some really good matches. We saw Nassau going up against Jackson there. Both teams looked very good throughout that. We saw Grays Harbor College in the first round. They put up a phenomenal performance getting that clean sweep. So just kind of looking forward to the season. Do you guys have any teams to keep an eye out for?
Apologies. For me, yes, absolutely. I think Lincoln Land, they're the champions of last season. They are on a tear through this tournament already. they're just a very excellent school to look out for Rocket League. Also know the director over there, very good gentleman who's heading that program. And another one, Hawkeye, who we see deep in this tournament. Quite a few of the teams to watch out for are actually registered for this tournament. It makes it pretty convenient. Grays Harbor, another excellent school. Nassau, another excellent school to watch out for. These are very high-profile teams that did well last season. Wake Tech, though, we faced them round one. We faced Wake Tech round one of this tournament. They are a new school to the NJCAAE, and they surprised me with how much talent is on that roster and how I'm excited to watch them. They're a school I'm very excited to watch.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of broadcasting with the Harrisburg area community college, and they actually this past week had the opportunity to play Wake Tech. And Wake Tech, from what I could see, I caught a couple of the games in there, but they looked very, very impressive. So from what I can tell, they are a solid squad. And Harrisburg Area Community College, another one of those new schools joining NJCAAE. So this is all new for me. This is my first exposure to it, but I mean, there are some really fire teams out here. How about you, Abby? Do you have any teams to watch out for?
Well, personally, I was rooting for THC, but
we almost made it, but yeah, I'd have to say JWC. I'm watching them, seeing how they're gonna do.
Well, right now they are currently 2-2 on the series, so we are going to take a short intermission, and then we will be back in just a few minutes. So we'll see you guys in just a little bit. And welcome back, guys. So we are actually going to jump into a current quarterfinal matchup, and it's an exciting one. Hoodie can definitely fill you guys in. It is featuring John Wood Community College versus Hudson Valley Community College. We are going to jump into a Game 6. It is currently 3-2 for John Wood, so this one is a nail-biter, as we just had Hudson Valley take game number 5, so get yourselves ready. We're going to head on down to the HyperX casting booth. Hoodie and Abby, go ahead and take it away.
Well, thank you very much for the wonderful introduction there. Thank you again for casting last game with me. And Abby, thank you very much for joining me this game and next game.
You're welcome.
I coach John Wood, so I've got a little bit of bias for this matchup and any matchup that John Wood's a part of. But this series, I've been kind of watching it off on my second monitor as it's been progressing. We went into the last series up 3-1, and they were able to come back and bring it back to 3-2. Back into the matchup though. Game 6 here, the first couple games had kind of gone a little bit of the scoreline in John Wood's favor, but the two games that HVCC has been able to claw back have been, I think it was 3-2 and 2-1 that they were able to get those wins on, and they were both in overtime. So we have been showing a little bit of aggressiveness here against this team and a little bit of a advantage, but I do think that Hudson Valley, we've played them a couple times in the past, and they have an excellent ability to take games off of us if we're not paying close enough attention.
yeah, those teams will take advantage of that easily. Like, I know Grace for the College, there's a couple of our early season games where if the team made a mix-up in their last any spot they did, and there was a possibility for a goal, we would jump on it, because it's just what you have to do in Rocket League.
I am having a little bit of difficulty with your mic. Not sure if we can get that reset real quick. But Hudson Valley has had a very good performance. They were the ones, the Hudson Valley GamerCon tournament that we had in the fall. They were the ones hosting that. They participated in that, and we saw a top 4 performance for them. We are getting kicked off into Game 6 here. We've got the kickoff happening. It does look like it is on Hudson Valley's side. I had to remember which color was who. John Wood here is the blue side. Hudson Valley is the orange side. And we're going to see for the lineup for John Wood, Rui, Stiffen, Lucy, and VPNT. And the lineup for Hudson Valley, we've got Optic, Momentum, and Cygloos. And Optic there, a very early goal, a very nice follow-up goal.
Because no one was able to guard it correctly, and so they made a goal.
That is an issue that we as John Wood have, is we do tend to overextend a little bit. And I was talking about that a little bit last match with Light, and we were seeing Jackson kind of do that. And it's just, it is a habit of Rocket League players to kind of get a little bit aggressive and into chasing the ball sometimes. Grui here is going to knock it up into the center, but Momentum with an excellent change of play, and it's going to be VB&T knocking into the corner, not able to do anything with it. Cyglue is going to try to push that into the goal, not wasting too much resources, boost or anything like that. I'm going to see John Wood need to make some larger clears here.
It seems like John Wood's playing very offensively. Sorry. And so Hudson Valley's kind of playing on the defense while trying to steal the ball as often as possible.
Stealing possession, pretty good game plan against us from what I've noticed us in the past. We do typically commit to the plays we're doing. So if Hudson Valley has picked up on that, it could definitely bring about a few issues, especially if John Wood's not able to kind of change up their gameplay. You're going to see double commit come out there from Carson or rather Grui and VP&T. And those double commits are another thing that are very treacherous for Rocket League teams. You cannot be committing more than one person to a ball. You got to be keeping those rotations up. Oh, nice pinch there. It's almost going to get John Wood a score, but they are able to get that out of that goal. Another excellent opportunity there from Grui is going to get saved once again, and the defense play from Hudson Valley is just excellent. You know, John Wood had two very clear opportunities at a goal there and just both denied.
Yeah, Hudson Valley seems to be doing very good when they're backed into a corner, and that's a very good skill to have, to be able to do what Cyclones did on the Hudson Valley team, which is be able to block the ball from going in while it's at a very harsh angle, which is actually more difficult than it might seem.
Yes, that you lose quite a bit of your mobility because you can't enter a certain space in case the ball rolls your way and you accidentally knock it in. It's very difficult to get it out of that center area without, you know, hitting the hitboxes incorrectly or doing something you don't mean to. There we're going to see a bit of a far pass, and Lucy with the redirect to get that into that goal. Really excellent goal from John Wood there to bring that scoreline back to 1-1. Again, John Wood is up 3-2 right now in this series, so if they win this game, they are able to take the series. Hudson Valley, while on the other hand, are playing to keep themselves alive and go to a game 7. So a lot of energy from both teams here, just for different reasons. So we're going to see a little bit of different advantages being made and you know, risk being taken and stuff like that. It's going to be Lucy here, not able to do anything with that. Lucy and Grui there, a little bit of awkward bumping, kind of finding themselves in the same spot, and that is a nice bump from Cyclones. They were almost able to make an opportunity happen there, getting Lucy knocked out of the way.
It seems like these teams are both taking advantage of the other's downfalls. For example, you mentioned how John Wood can overpass or double commits sometimes, and that's exactly what Optic took advantage of. He took advantage of how John Wood was passing it near their goal, and so now it's 1-2 with 50 seconds left.
Hudson Valley doing what they can to ensure their survival in this tournament, a game 7 if they can, and John Wood trying everything they can to see it in overtime here. Possibly find 2 goals, I don't know, but they definitely want to find 1. And a little bit further away here. Hudson Valley, a nice goal there again.
Yeah, again, Optic is taking advantage of how spread out John Wood seems to be, since they like those long passes, and so Optic just hit it straight in right above VPNT.
Definitely mispositioning, costing John Wood here. See if they can shore that up a little bit in Game 7. I think we're going to be pretty good to call this one as Hudson Valley's game and a tie-up in the series at 3-3. Excellent series here from both teams, very close. Again, I got to see this matchup last fall, so I do know that last fall it was also a very similar kind of match here, where both teams being very even skilled and scoreline being very, very close. I think we ended up winning 4-2 last time, so it's really cool to see Hudson Valley growing as a team as well.
Yeah, both teams worked very well on how to make goals despite how the other team played. Like, for example, John Wood liked the longer passes, and so Hudson Valley, made sure to get in between the players and steal their passes in order to make goals, which is what benefited Optic more than once.
Alex, I see you joined us.
Yeah, I did. So while we have a moment real quick, we're going to take a look at the bracket just to get you all caught up at where everything has fallen so far. So we've got everything up to date. Over on the other side of the bracket, as you can see, Nassau and Lincoln Land are going to be facing off in the semifinals. And right now, I mean, we said earlier, Hawkeye got the 4-0 sweep over Grace Harbor. And in this one, heading to a Game 7. So far, our only Game 7 of the day. So we're definitely getting a nail biter, and whoever's coming in has a tough matchup against Hawkeye, a team that so far has not dropped a game. But I mean, waiting for the matchup could definitely mess with the mentality a little bit, maybe throw them off from being warm. So looking forward, how do you guys feel for this one?
I feel very good. I do want us to know that we are in Game 7 right now. Kickoff has happened. Yes. So right now, I think the big thing is seeing what these two teams can muster up here for themselves, because they've both got a lot riding on the line here, with the scoreline being 3-3. Those earlier games, you get a lot more room to be making plays that you wouldn't necessarily make. Give opportunities to your opponent that you don't really want to give, but just so you can see if you can make something happen. When you're in Game 7, that kind of goes out the window. You don't want to be making any mistakes.
Yeah, I always said with the earlier games that they're more of a feeler round, for lack of a better term, where each team feels out how the other one plays and responds to your team's play. And I think that in this last game, it's going to be no holds barred, and they're going to be trying to make as many goals as possible and get rid of the opponent.
We did have John Wood. We have 4 players on our roster, and we do try to sub pretty regularly this time. VPNT coming out in exchange for Turbo coming back in. So different roster from John Wood than last game. We're going to see if maybe that can help them in any way, shape, or form. I don't know if I saw any subs come out from the Hudson Valley team. I don't believe so. I believe those are the same 3 players from last game. Very dangerous ball for John Wood here, Karui.
Great shot by Lucy. Again, she stole the ball from Optic, who was trying to pass it up and over the wall to their teammates. And so Lucy took advantage of that and just hit it right out of their possession. And now it's 1-0 with John Wood in the lead.
See Lucy generally being kind of that individual player. Light and I had talked about it in the Nassau-Jackson game, individual performance, and Lucy definitely taking that role for John Wood. I've been trying to kind of observe Hudson Valley. They seem to be a little bit more team team-centric, not really having one individual player. Another very good forward opportunity from here, and Turbo's actually going to be able to push that back into the net, and John Wood's going to be up 2-0 here in this game 7. But having that individual player is very important for a team. Teamwork goes a long way, but if you only have teamwork, then you don't really make the opponent guess. So I want to see if we can. I wish we had gotten to observe this match a little bit longer to kind of see Hudson Valley. I'm thinking it's Optic, probably.
Yeah, I think Optic's a really hard hitter on the Hudson Valley team because they've managed to steal the ball from John Wood multiple times and make goals with it. And they're also a pretty aggressive player, but they can also come in clutch when it comes to defense and keeping the ball out of their goal even in really tricky situations, which is a really key player to have on a Rocket League team.
I agree, and I think that your observations there for Optic ring true, and he's doing what he can. You can see him scurrying all over this ball, kind of wherever it's at, making sure he's in a good position to get a touch on it. And I think you're very right with your observations there, with his ability to be able to read and make sure he's playing defense. John Wood, lots of pressure here, but Saiglu is going to find an opening once again. John Wood with the overcommitment. It's going to cost him the goal.
Yeah, Hudson Valley is a very analytical team from what I can see. They work together as a team as much as possible, with the exception of Optic sometimes taking the ball to make the goals, and so they took advantage of that and saw that all of John Wood was on John Wood's side, their side. So they went for the goal and made it, so now it's 2-1.
We're going to see another floater coming back here towards John Wood's goal, and that is going to be 2 very fast back-to-back ones. And once again, John Wood, just nobody playing defense. And that's been a plague that has riddled us the entire time, is we get so confident with our aggressive plays that we really just forget to leave anybody back there, and it can hurt us, and it has here, taking a 2-0 scoreline, turning it into a 2-2 even scoreline. It's not the best morale here in a game 7. Turbo, though, not showing any signs of slowing down. Some very fast play for him. Lucy's going to get it, just a little bit wide. Grui with the follow-up, and he's going to put it into the back of the net. Excellent team play there from John Wood to claw that point back.
Yeah, that was a great round. In the beginning, during the very start of this round, I saw Lucy kind of hang back towards the goal in case Hudson Valley decided to try and make it right off the bat again. And then good teamwork and follow through from John Wood. So now it's 3-2 with a minute left.
Hudson Valley, not letting it affect them either. Their pace of gameplay also staying very high up here. Optic with an excellent pass over there, just a little bit high of a shot. John Wood getting very lucky. Lucy's going to take it, ground control a little bit, see if he can. That was a nice, smart little push there, a little pinch off the ground. I like that. Hit that right to Grui. Lucy with the challenge. Gonna follow that. Seconds left. I would really like to see John Wood play the keep away game right here. They've got the point. They don't need another point. They just need to make sure that Hudson Valley doesn't score.
Yeah, and I noticed typically in the later games, especially if it's the 7th round of a game and it's not a wipeout game, is that the airplay will come into the game more. Like how at the 30-second mark, the ball was almost completely in the air the whole time because they're trying to keep it away from their opponents.
Yep, and the more that you can keep it in the air, I think it gives a greater chance for players to overcommit resources, which then can, lead it. Especially, we've got Lucy, who is pretty much known for his aerial play, and it seemed like Optic there for the Hudson Valley side was getting quite a bit of some aerial play in there. And so when you can force that ball to be up in the air, the more at the end, you're not even really trying to do anything with it. You're just trying to make your opponents waste resources so that you can make something happen off of that.